Hey, welcome back to Skytech-Lens. Today, we're popping the hood on the American retail economy, and it's knocking hard. In May 2025, major brands like Walmart, Ross, Target, and Apple are caught in the crosshairs of President Trump's renewed tariff crusade. Sticker shock is surging, shelves are shifting, and the supply chain is creaking under geopolitical pressure. The network of ships, trucks, and warehouses is stretched to its breaking point, with consequences rippling from grocery prices to smartphone launches. This isn't just about boardrooms and stock prices, it's about real-world impact on families and budgets. Let's break down how America's biggest commercial engines are sputtering and what that means for the road ahead. Let's start with Walmart, the king of everyday low prices. Their global supply chain is a marvel of efficiency, but tariffs are throwing a wrench in the gears. CEO Doug McMillon warns, these new tariffs on Chinese goods are too big to absorb, billions in new costs. With razor-thin margins, those costs hit the price tag, threatening Walmart's core promise. The uncertainty is chaos. Do they stockpile goods, risking overstock, or wait and pay more later? Suppliers scramble, shipping routes clog, and Walmart is forced to rethink decades-old supplier relationships. Shifting to new manufacturing partners in Vietnam, India, or Mexico isn't quick or easy. Building new supply chains takes years, and domestic sourcing means higher costs. For millions of families, higher Walmart prices mean real hardship. Less food, delayed purchases, tough choices. Shelves may have fewer choices, familiar brands could vanish, and the American superstore experience could shrink. Walmart's struggle is a warning for the entire retail economy. They're desperately trying to rebuild their engine while barreling down the highway. The old model is sputtering, and the road ahead looks rough. The impact is direct. When Walmart stumbles, so does the American consumer. Now let's talk about Ross stores, the off-price dress-for-less giant. Their model relies on buying up canceled orders and overruns at deep discounts, much of it from China. Tariffs make those deals harder to find and more expensive. CEO Barbara Rentler says Ross's customers are extremely price-sensitive. A small price hike can kill a sale. Wall Street reacts to every tariff headline, and Ross's stock is volatile. Their buyers now face a global haystack full of tariff thorns, struggling to find affordable merchandise. Shifting to new suppliers is risky and slow. China's scale is unmatched. For budget shoppers, higher prices mean fewer essentials: kids' shoes, towels, basics. The treasure hunt experience at Ross is threatened if bargains disappear. Tariffs are a blunt instrument, sending shockwaves through even the nooks and crannies of retail. Ross is fighting to stay a bargain haven as bargains become endangered. The pressure is immense, and the stakes are real for families on tight budgets. The off-price ecosystem is being disrupted, and the consequences are felt nationwide. Now to Apple, the tech titan with a supply chain deeply rooted in China. Tariffs on Chinese imports are a direct, multi-billion-dollar tax on nearly every Apple product. Unlike t-shirts, Apple can't easily shift production. Shenzhen's ecosystem is unique. A significant tariff could add $100 plus to an iPhone, pushing prices out of reach for many. CEO Tim Cook is caught between Washington and Beijing, arguing that tariffs are a tax on American consumers. Apple's global supply web means tariffs hurt American, Japanese, and European suppliers too. If Apple is forced to move production, it could fragment the tech landscape and drive up costs for everyone. This isn't just about phone prices. It's about American tech leadership. Disrupting Apple's supply chain could hand an edge to rivals like Samsung or Huawei. Apple faces a dilemma: absorb costs, pass them on, or attempt a costly, years-long supply chain overhaul. The collision of globalization and nationalism is playing out in Apple's boardroom. The choices Apple makes now will ripple through the entire tech industry. The stakes: innovation, jobs, and America's place in the global tech race. Target is the stylish, reliable family sedan of retail, focused on value, quality, and a pleasant shopping experience. But Target's engine is just as vulnerable to tariff turmoil. CEO Brian Cornell is holding the line, negotiating with vendors to absorb some tariff costs instead of raising prices immediately. It's a risky bet. Vendors can only take so much before their own margins collapse. Target's strategy is to delay price hikes, hoping tariffs are temporary, and to win over customers from competitors. But every day they absorb costs, profits shrink, and Wall Street gets nervous. Target's affordable finds magic is at risk if prices rise. They're also careful not to draw political fire. Complaining too loudly could make them a target themselves. Internally, Target is scrambling to diversify suppliers and protect their exclusive brands, but shifting production is slow and costly. The buffer between global chaos and the Target shopping experience is thinning. Cornell and his team are buying time, but the longer the trade war drags on, the greater the risk. Target's balancing act is a high-wire walk in a hurricane. The outcome will shape the future of value shopping in America. What happens when the entire infrastructure of trade starts to break down? Tariffs aren't just a financial hit, they're a logistical nightmare. At the ports, companies rush to import goods before tariffs, causing epic congestion and gridlock. The just-in-time system was thrown into chaos by a just-in-case surge. Delays and costs pile up at every step, and the cycle of uncertainty repeats with every new tariff threat. Logistics companies can't plan, truckers and warehouse workers face unpredictable schedules, and small businesses get squeezed hardest. Factories in China face wild swings in orders, making production planning impossible. The result? Slowdowns, factory closures, and gaps on American store shelves. Small businesses lack the resources to weather the chaos, while giants like Walmart can charter ships and secure space. The human cost is real: lost hours, layoffs, and threatened livelihoods. The global supply chain was built for efficiency, not resilience. Tariffs have exposed its fragility, disrupting the flow of goods we all rely on. The sputtering isn't just in stores, it's across the entire network that powers our economy. Let's pull it all together. Walmart's low prices are under assault, Ross's bargains are vanishing, Apple is caught in a geopolitical vice, and Target is walking a tightrope. This is a systemic crisis, not just a collection of corporate struggles. Tariffs act as a regressive tax, hitting lower and middle-income families hardest. Rising prices mean less spending elsewhere, dragging down the whole economy. Small businesses are especially vulnerable, lacking the resources to absorb shocks. The retail sector is on the edge of a breakdown, forced to de-optimize and prioritize politics over efficiency. We face tough questions. Is this the new normal? Can companies innovate out of it, or are higher prices here to stay? Should brands pass on costs or fight for their customers? Is reshoring really the answer, or just a costly detour? The road ahead is uncertain, and the decisions made now will shape the future of American retail. The engine of our consumer economy is sputtering, and there's no easy fix. What happens next depends on choices made in boardrooms and in Washington. We've taken a hard look under the hood of American retail, and the warning lights are flashing. The system is stressed, and the tariff tremors are shaking its foundations. The choices made now will shape what's on our shelves and what's in our wallets for years. So what do you think? Will prices stabilize, or is this the new normal? Is reshoring the answer? Let us know in the comments. Your voice matters. Thanks for joining me in the workshop. Stay curious, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel for more updates.